Hello and welcome to Amarella's Hotel in the city of Blantyre. My name is Gospel Kazako and I'll be speaking to the Managing Director for CASTEL Malawi Limited, Mr. Ivel Miadi. CASTEL Malawi has not been speaking to us. They've been quiet. But we believe strongly that they have a story to tell, a story to share. And indeed, they must declare, are they still around? Will they be in Malawi? Or are they living? I'll be speaking to the Managing Director for CASTEL Malawi Limited, Mr. Ivel Miadi. Please join me, Gospel Kazako, and speak to him tonight from here, Amarella's Hotel in the heart of the city of Blantyre. You are a global brand. You are operating in so many countries in Africa and in other continents. How do you compare the business environment elsewhere and Malawi?
You are absolutely right. CASTEL, is a big company. We are operating in more than 25 different countries in Africa. And, I should say Africa is not one continent, but it's many countries. And in all of them, we have different culture, different story, different environment, different political issues. And I have to say that knowing quite well most of these countries and having done business with this, Malawi is something which is specific. And we have in Malawi an environment, the country itself is a magic country. Mm-hmm. And we can grow the economy and the business in it could grow very easily. But we are sometimes facing some challenges which are not only economical, but also political. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That means that the environment of the country should help industries such as CASTEL mm-hmm. in order to grow, and it's not always the case. Then we are dealing with these policies in order to allow us to grow with oxygen instead of dying without any financial profitability. Mm-hmm. Then this is specific, but I think the best is in front of us.
Mm-hmm. I know that CASTEL Malawi Limited doesn't talk politics. In fact, it has managed to create positive interface with what is happening in this country. But I think the past 6-9 months, there have been some strained relationship and of course misunderstanding between your company and the government, especially issues to do with tax and other policies that were kind of impinging or affecting your operations. Tell me, where are you now? What's the relationship like now? Have you managed to navigate very well, and what's the situation?
Our business is not to do politics, but the politics and the policies of the countries has a very strong impact on our way to make business. And you are absolutely right. We experienced difficult time with this environment. We faced difficult time. That's probably one of the reasons that I joined the company, call for the group. I have to say that when I arrived, I faced many challenges, and we had, let's say, dynamic discussions with everyone, all our stakeholders, but also the government. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about different ministers. It's always like that. It's a negotiation. You have different point of view, you have different objective, and you have to align. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that after a kind of difficult period, yes, where the position were quite far away, mm-hmm, I think we have done a professional and constructive job in order to make our relationship more positive, more productive, in order to achieve and make the right decision. My hope is to have a really, let's say, constructive, prospective discussion in order to foresee the future.
Would you say that, because as private sector, certainly for government to do very well, for government to plan and implement policies that are productive, policies that are progressive, they need to have your voice. They need to hear from the private sector, certainly. The private sector is the biggest generator of tax and revenue for governments to run. Would you say that there is need for certain policies to be reviewed in order to fuel the operations of private sector in general?
Of course, we have to review it and to have a very big ambition. I would say a very big ambition for our company, but saying so, it's a very big ambition for the country as well. Then, review policies is, let's say, necessary in order to provide the right environment to make this industry growing, but more than that, to bring back in this country, for the future of this country, external investors. And you know, the investors, we are investors. We are Malawian, but also investors. We want some sustainability. We want some security. We want to have the right to invest because we will have some return on investment. We can foresee the future. We can build it. We can share ambition with the country instead of having the country and industry facing each other and not always understand each other. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, there's room to change, and we will be part of it positively, just in order to share the same ambition and not to, face different, let's say, specific interests.
The coming in of CASTEL Malawi Limited, some would say yes, they have a positive story to tell, but sometimes you also get stories that are not as positive. For example, there has been a rumor going around that your intention is to replace Carlsberg with CASTEL. You would want to phase out Carlsberg and bring in CASTEL. Now you're here. Those were rumors. I would want to hear it from you. Is Carlsberg going or is Carlsberg staying? I want you to be honest. Tell me.
This is one of the beauty of our interview. You've said earlier on that we were not heavily involved in the media, but you give me the occasion to answer this kind of rumors. I want to tell very frankly, and to our consumers, that this rumor is fake, is totally false. We intend to continue to produce, to sell to our consumers all our beer brands. And I would like to come back on it a little bit, because Carlsberg is the history of this company. Then we have Chill, we have Green, we have Special, all of them are going to be there and will be developed. I have to tell you, or to give you let's say a news on it. You know, my obsession is to make our product the best product ever, but also affordable for people. That's the reason why I have decided to continue the promotion, Watsika Watsika, which is a very good promotion.
Watsika Watsika.
Watsika Watsika.
And Watsika Watsika.
And to maintain the price of Green and Special at 600 kwacha. But we are also going to grow other beers, and we are talking about CASTEL, which is a success because all our consumers want and like CASTEL, but also we are going to develop a beer that you don't see quite often in the market these days, but we are going to relaunch it, which is Kuche Kuche. And I would like that every Malawian to be very proud of Kuche Kuche, because it's going to be our beer, the beer from the country, done with local supply, and we are going to relaunch. Then, to make it short, we are going to continue this brand. Carlsberg, fully, CASTEL, and Kuche Kuche.
So you're saying Carlsberg is here to stay?
Carlsberg is here forever.
It's not going anywhere?
It's not going anywhere, and we don't have any intention, any objective to replace Carlsberg by CASTEL, because these beers are different beers and the consumer love them. Then we are going to continue to supply our consumers.
Tell me, what will be your involvement in sports?
We used to be heavily involved in sport, but not only in sport. We use, and probably people don't know it, but we used to be heavily involved in CSR activity, working on the health sector, working on the environment. But you know, some months ago, the company financial were so critical that I decided to stop most of the sponsoring, because as simple as that, by that time we couldn't afford it. And then I prefer to stop the sport sponsoring and to take care about the organization and the people, instead of continuing the sponsoring without taking care of the company. But I have to tell you that we are very passionate about sport, and we want to come back. As soon as the company is going to come back on growth, and will have financial, suitable financial, I would say, we will come back on sport.
Do you want to commit as to when you'll be back?
No, I will not commit, because I'm still working with the government and our stakeholders in order to make our situation stable, in order to grow. But as soon as these things are going to be under control, I will come back and I will have the pleasure to meet you again. You will have, with this new adventure, a lot of surprises. And I hope it's going to be good surprises for the people here in Malawi.
Now, having experienced some meandering journey, some challenges on the way, some difficulties on the way, what would you say about the future? How do you look at the future?
I'm a very optimistic guy. I see the sunny side of the environment and the product. Then I have to tell you right away that I'm very ambitious. And we have room to be ambitious. And we have a crazy ambition, which is to double the business within 3 years. This is a crazy ambition. 3 years.
3 years.
3 years.
That's very, very
it's tremendous. But you know, in this adventure, we are not going to be alone. You know, a company doesn't grow alone. The company grows due to the organization, its own organization, its product, but also the environment and the stakeholders, the people we are working with. Then if all these planets are aligned, I could tell you that the future is bright. And definitely, I have to tell you that the organization is really committed, and I thank the organization because I admire the people within the organization, because they want to grow, they want to do things, they want to provide happiness for people. And then I think everything is now in place to think positively about the future. Nevertheless, we have to finalize some negotiation with the environment, but if we get some positive decision, we will be there forever. And when I say we will be there, it's going to be a proudness for the people here, because this company, these products are not our product, our company, but it's a Malawian product range. And then we are very proud of that. And we would like people to say, well, I drink Carlsberg, I drink Castel, I drink Kuche Kuche, and I'm proud of it because this is an industry from Malawi.
I think it would be unfair if I do not ask you one very important question. I know most of the questions that I've asked you are very important, but there is one question that will affect every family, affect every Malawian in this country. And this is a question on one drink, one squash. This is the squash that Malawians almost appointed as their squash, as their drink. This is a squash that has been part of every family. If there are two people in a family, we count it there are three because one will be that squash. This is a squash that all of us, including me, have grown up drinking that squash. But all of a sudden, you decided to discontinue making that squash. And I think you kind of dampened our spirits. You kind of made us sad. You know, we get a lot of positive stories from your company, but this one, certainly, and millions of people watching and listening to us will agree with me that certain metrics in many families were not adding up because an affordable drink, an affordable squash was missing in the equation. This is Sobo. What happened? Actually, I'm not happy with you. When I was told that you have accepted to come and talk to us, I said no, but I think he needs to explain what happened to Sobo. Where is Sobo? What happened? This was a loved brand. This was it. You know, when you're going outside this country, you cannot go outside and visit friends in America, in the United Kingdom without this drink. Your parcel was not complete if you didn't carry Sobo. But you decided to discontinue this. What happened?
Well, it's a good opportunity for me to talk about this love story because it's a pure love story. The product is magic. We are talking about a product full of fruit, full of sugar, full of energy that you love for generation and generation. Your grandfather probably, your father, your mother, your family.
Yeah, and you know, before, you know, this is a very serious issue, Mr. Yves. Very, very serious. And you see, the other character of the Sobo we're talking about was that it was a drink for everyone. It was not elitist. Families with low income were able to get it. Families living in upmarket places, where that was their drink. It is a unifying drink. And you decided to discontinue.
Let's come back on this love story. You know, sometimes in the life, there's one who is going out, and the other one, the love is so strong that the other one is waiting. But he has the hope that his lover is going to come back. But sometimes the environment makes you leave. And that was the story of Sobo Squash. And I would like to take just 1 minute to tell you what's going on. As you said, squash is probably one of the most iconic products, not only of the company, but in the country. Everyone loves Sobo. And the reason why people love Sobo is because it's a very good product. It's the magic product. Natural, full of everything, give you energy, give you laugh. It's a moment of your life. You know, you love that. You're looking for Sobo. As you said, you know, when you go to the hospital, when you go to the family, you bring that. Yeah. And for us, it was sad to make the decision, and I took the decision myself to stop it. I would like to tell you why. You know, this Sobo that you love for 30 years was suddenly stopped due to the fact that we received from the MBS a communication saying you are not allowed anymore to use one of the ingredient part of Sobo, which is called tartrazine. The tartrazine is a colorant, is a part of the original recipe of Sobo. Tartrazine is a colorant which is used in the food industry everywhere in the world, in every single food, not only beverages, but also the dairy food, the biscuits, everywhere. But suddenly, we were not anymore authorized to use tartrazine in our product. And without tartrazine, the Sobo that you love, the Sobo that you drank, it's impossible to produce. Then it's now 7 months that I made the decision to stop Sobo.
But it's
and
like,
7 months.
It's like 7 years, or 70 years.
Or probably 7 centuries.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sad every day, and I can't tell you that I'm crying, but inside my heart is crying. And I have to tell you that for 7 months now, we are hardly working with MBS in order to think about this product, to put some studies on the table in order to share our point of view. And you know, in a love story, in most of them, suddenly your love who came out potentially can come back. And we have some days ago, only some days ago, the authorization to use tartrazine back in our product. But for the time being, we're still crying because for the time being, there's no Sobo squash on the shelves. And you've seen other products, but it's nothing compared to Sobo. Sobo that we love, Sobo that we're looking for, is not in the shelves. And you know, it's a difficult time we have because I know that before Christmas, people are looking to have this kind of product because it's a part of their life. It's a part of your life. It's a part of my life. A Christmas without squash is something which is less light.
And probably this will be the first Christmas without squash. We are going to have no squash during Christmas.
You know, at least for the time being, there's no squash.
So there's no squash. Squash is gone.
Would you like me to tell you something magic?
About this squash?
Of course. You know, with my emotion, because we are talking about a project and a product which is loved by people, but I want to announce you that after this work, these 7 months, 7 years, 7 centuries, squash is going to be back. Squash is going to be back. And I have a good surprise. If I was, you know, I will take Tita's bag because Tita's is full of surprise.
Don't tell me there's squash in there.
I don't tell you anything, but I just show you things like that. You know, and you know, if I was squash myself, I would say, oh, I miss you too so much. Then I'm back.
Wow.
And this is the product that is going to be on all shelves. We will have squash.
So this is back.
This is back. On
in,
Friday.
As in back, as in we'll have it.
You will have it, and you will have it on Friday. Don't panic. We have a lot of squash, and everyone is going to have squash at home, and that is going to be available for Friday. Then don't rush everywhere because we are going to provide the whole country. I have to tell you that if you are happy, I'm so happy also because my dream and our dream was to have these 2 bottles of squash in every single table, in every single families, everywhere.
Why didn't you tell me before we started this interview? Because at least I would have had the sip.
Because I didn't want you to be so, to have so emotion. Then
no, I don't think I would
do it.
Yeah.
You put some water in it,
Yep.
and you do exactly what you want, because squash is an affordable and magic product. We can use it as you want. Test it.
We missed this. We certainly missed this.
And with my...
So much.
It's a pleasure, but it's not only a pleasure. We are proud of it, because this is not our product, but it is our product for everyone. Then I can promise you something. We will be there for you, for the family, for the kids, for the people in the hospital, for everyone. Not only in Malawi, but everywhere we are going to put this lovely and magic product. And these are for you.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure millions of Malawians will now have a breather. In fact, you have mitigated a lot of pressure in many, many families. Thank you so much, CASTEL Malawi. And well, I don't know what to say, but I can assure you.
I would say something for you.
Yes.
Then you will have squash, but probably people could question themselves. Is it the same? Mm-hmm. And I have to tell you that this is the original recipe, the one you loved, your grandfather loved.
I've grown up drinking this. It is tasting exactly the same.
Because it is the same.
Great.
Then it's great.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hervé.
Hervé.
Mr. Sobo. Thank you very much for accepting to talking to us. We really appreciate, but this is also very, very good news. In fact, we could have done a 5-minute interview just to talk about this.
I wanted you to be thirsty and to be happy.
Thank you so much. Here we are, Sobo is back. And what a way to round up my chat with the Managing Director for CASTEL Malawi Limited, Mr. Hervé Miad. My name is Gospel Kazago, but just remember, Sobo is back.
Sobo is back! That same original fruity drink that we all love is back. Sobo Squash is back with a new label. Get your Sobo Orange Squash or Sobo Pineapple Squash, now available nationwide at 2,400 kwacha.
Wow! Sobo! We missed you!
I'm back. I missed you too.
Good evening and welcome, live from Amaryllis Hotel in Blantyre on ZBS, Zodiak Broadcasting Station. I would like to observe some protocols before we start our program. The Minister of Industry and Trade, Honorable Salim Bagas MP, the Minister of Labour, Honorable Chanjo MP. Welcome to this auspicious occasion, but also I would like to welcome all government officials, members of the press, our esteemed customers and consumers, CASTEL Malawi employees, Ntundu onse wa Malawi, Zomo wambiri, Sobo wabweranso. Before we start our function, a brief history of the brand Sobo Squash. A brand that is loved by children, a brand that is loved by grandparents, a brand that is loved by uncles and aunties. Even mothers and daughters agree. Sobo Squash is a transgenerational product. Sobo Squash is the pride of the nation. Sobo Squash is part of the family. This is historic, poignant, but also very nostalgic because each and every family in Malawi grew up drinking Sobo Squash.
Sobo Squash is a brand that you will say your childhood memories started with. When you went to school, Sobo Squash was your partner. When you're in the hospital, Sobo Squash is your trusted guardian. Sobo Squash is our birthright as a Malawian, and Sobo Squash is one of our best friends. And tonight, the remarkable thing about being here is the fact that we will never do this again. We will never relaunch Sobo Squash because Sobo Squash is here to stay. It has been a tiresome journey, but a rewarding one, because here tonight you are privileged to experience the joy that our brothers and sisters and family in Malawi are experiencing at home, on the internet, and on the radio.
Without further ado, it is my singular honor to invite the Minister of Industry and Trade, the Minister of Labor, and the CASTEL Malawi MD to do the symbolic unveiling of this magical product, Sobo Squash. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And just to create believability, we would like to have a photo moment, but we would also like you to taste the squash. You'll be the first people to taste the squash after gospel, but the first ones tonight to taste Sobo Squash.
We now officially launch Sobo Squash in Malawi. Cheers!
So now, as we have seen for ourselves live here, and those at home have seen, Sobo Squash is back. The shop shelves are full. Your homes will be full. So please do not rush. Like they said earlier, we're here to stay. We would now like to go into the formalities, so we'll invite our MD.
As Tita has mentioned to me, do not rush. Sobo Squash is here to stay. It is our singular honor to invite the CASTEL Malawi MD to make his remarks.
Good evening. What an emotion. It's an emotion for the company, but I guess it's an emotion for the whole country because this project is magic. I would like very briefly to welcome Honorable Salim Bagus, MP, Minister of Trade, Industry and Tourism, Honorable Linjin Koma, MP, Minister of Labor, all the government officials, all the business partners. I would like also to welcome our customers, our consumers, but also the members of the industries around, which are partners. I would like to welcome the management and the staff of CASTEL Malawi, and I will come back on it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you to be here for this night, which is a very specific event, I think, for all of us. Welcome, welcome all. Squash is back forever. And if I was Squash, I would have said, I miss you too. I think this love story restarts. And I think we are going to take all the learning of the past in order to make it stronger and to make it forever. You know, we have waited for 7 months, and during these 7 months, we had our consumers who were crying. They wanted to have the original recipe of squash come back in the market, which is the case. But you know, this journey, we have not done it alone, and I would like to thank, first of all, our consumers, because they never, let's say, were devastated, but they wanted and they fight with us to be able to come back. I would like to thank the ministries and the regulators. We have made a very strong collaboration, and if we work as partners, we can move the mountains, and that was the case, and I hope that is going to be the case now forever. I would like also to thank our suppliers and our customers, because you know, we've got the news only 2 weeks ago for us to be allowed to relaunch the product, and you can imagine that we had to produce, we have to pack, we have to truck, and to deliver our customers and to be on shelf tomorrow, and this is a tremendous effort. Then I would like to thank our suppliers and customers to accept to rush and to work days and nights in order to be ready. And of course, I would like to thank the CASTEL Malawi team, because you know, we were dreaming about this launch. I have to tell you that without any confirmation and in the full uncertainty, we have put all our efforts and a dedicated team working day and night to make it possible, and I would like to thank you. I also would like to thank our media partner, Zodiak. He is the one who helped us today, but he will continue to help us in order to make the news known and to tell the CASTEL story. Then I'm very proud today because it's a very nice gift for Christmas and for everyone in the country. We've said that everyone in the country drinks Sobo, and our bet was to be on the table of every consumer, every family on the Christmas day. And you know, we have a lot of consumers who are watching their TV live, hearing the radio, and I would like to tell them that we are very proud, and it's a very big emotion for us to give them the possibility to drink Sobo with their family in a nice environment. Now, I would like to finish and to thank you all, and I would like to call our guest of honor, Honorable Salim Baggers, in order to make his address. Thank you very much.
The Chief Executive Officer for CASTEL Malawi, Mr. Hev Mirhad, and your entire staff, Mr. Diamond Chikasu, Assistant Director of Trade, Minister of Industry, Trade and Tourism, all members of staff from my ministry, members of the press, and not forgetting my colleague, Minister of Labor. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, I would like to commend you, Chief Executive Officer, for inviting me and my team to visit CASTEL Malawi Limited. Let me, on the onset, indicate that it is through collaborative interactions like this one that we can together overcome challenges affecting the manufacturing sector. My ministry appreciates the important role that CASTEL Malawi Limited plays to the economy, such as providing employment opportunities, forex generations, skills transfer, among many others. The government of Malawi, through the wise and dynamic leadership of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is very appreciative in this and wants to assure you that it will make sure that you are operating in a friendly and conducive environment. I'm aware that there are issues bordering on taxes and raw materials for your company that you have presented to my ministry before. I would like to indicate that the ministry, in collaboration with other relevant stakeholders, including the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Development, are discussing these issues so that at the end of the day, we find a lasting solution which will benefit both your company and the economy. I don't intend to make a long speech, but let me provoke our discussions here by indicating that government would like to see your company continue producing Kazbek products such as grain, special, kuche kuche, stout, and chill. In addition, government would like to see Sobo squash back on the shelves before Christmas, especially now that the ban on the use of Tatazine was lifted by the Malawi Bureau of Standards. I thank you for your attention.
I think that deserves another round of applause.
Honorable Salim Bagas, MP, thank you very much for being part of the historic launch of Sobo Squash in Malawi. We would like now to invite our guest of honor for one more surprise. We might just launch one more product outside. So I'll invite the Minister of Industry and Trade outside, the Managing Director of CASTEL Malawi outside, and also the Minister of Labor outside. If we all go outside, we have one more surprise before the end of the night.
Sobo is back! That same original fruity drink that we all love is back. Sobo Squash is back with a new label. Get your Sobo Orange Squash or Sobo Pineapple Squash, now available nationwide at 2,400 kwacha.
Wow! Sobo! We missed you!
I'm back. I missed you too.